The Uí Fidgenti, Fidgente, or Fidgeinte were an early kingdom of northern Munster in Ireland, situated mostly in modern County Limerick, but extending into County Clare and County Tipperary, and possibly even County Kerry and County Cork, at maximum extents, which varied over time. They flourished from about 377 AD to 977, although they continued to devolve for another 300 years. They have been given various origins among both the earlier proto-Eóganachta and among the Dáirine by different scholars working in a number of traditions, with no agreement ever reached or appearing reachable. Genealogies deriving from the Uí Fidgenti include O'Bilry, O'Brida, O'Kenfile, Clarkin, Collins, O'Connell, O'Dia, Donovan, Flannery, O'Heffernans, Kenneless, McEnary, O'Gully, O'Keen, and Tracy. Closely related to the Uí Fidgenti were the Uí Lythane, who claimed descent from the same 4th century AD dynasty, De, and who in the earliest sources, such as the expulsion of the De, are mentioned together with them. The Uí Fidgente descend from Uí Fidgente, the second son of De, whom, it is believed, became the senior line of the Milesian race upon the death of Kglavin in 379 A.D. Fidgente himself, however, never became king of Munster, for he was killed by his rival Angus Reach, great-grandson of Cormac Caz, in a battle fought at Clydna, near Glandore Harbour. As noted in the Book of Lecan, Fidgente received the designation because he constructed a wooden horse at the fair of Inagh. Ultimately, 600 years after the time of Fidgente, the territories of the Uí Fidgente divided into two principal dynasties as septs, the Uí Abda and Uí Fidgeinti. The latter were more often the stronger power. By 1169, the Uí Fidgeinti had further divided into the Uí Fidgeinti and the Uí Donovan. Though comparing the genealogies set forth in Roland and the Book of Munster, the lines diverged with Cenfalad, 4 generations before Donovan, reflecting that specific families' alliance with the Danes of Limerick and Waterford. Modern descendants of De include the O'Connells of Dáirine and Daniel Charles, Count O'Connell, having explicitly declared this to the heralds of Louis XVI of France. Also was Michael Collins, descending from the O'Coilian of Uí Fidgeinti, once the most powerful sept of the Uí Fidgenti. Size and extents. A variety of sources show that Uí Fidgenti was the most prominent of the non-Eóganachta over-kingdoms of medieval Munster. Once the formerly powerful Cork, and distant Osraige are excluded as non-participating. By circa 950 A.D., the territory of the Uí Fidgeinti were divided primarily between the two most powerful septs, the Uí Kybra and the Uí Coilian. The Uí Kybra Aobhdha lay along the Meg Basin in Coishmar and Kerry and covered the deanery of Adair, and at one point extended past Kilmallock to Ardpatrick and Doneraile. The tribes of Uí Fidgeinti extended to a western district, along the Deal and Slieve Lewishra, now the baronies of Upper and Lower Canello. Other septs within the Uí Fidgeinti were long associated with other Limerick locations. A branch of the Fir-Tamnage gave its name to Mahuna, or Torna. Fina is the only geographical trace extant today of ancient Uí Fidgente, though the changes in the name of Uí Fidgente down to the modern Fina seem strange. They are quite natural when one takes into account the gradual change from the Irish to the English tongue with a totally different method of spelling and pronunciation, and the omission of the Uí, which was unintelligible to those acquainted only with the latter language. During 1750 to 1900, Fidgente had become Foughanough or Feohonagh, and finally Feenagh, a name now confined to a single parish southeast of Newcastle in County Limerick. St. Patrick. Vita tripartita sancti patrici, St. Sinan mac Gyson Uí Fidgenti. The annals first note the Uí Fidgenti in 645 as allies of the celebrated king of Connacht, Dáirine mac Colmain, at the Battle of Conconneil. His dynasty, the Uí Fidgenti, controlled much of the territory to the immediate north of the Uí Fidgenti. Byrne argues the two kingdoms were in rivalry for control over several smaller tuaths, but other evidence suggests they were allied. In the 8th century lament of Creed, daughter of Gwe, the Uí Fidgente noted as opponents of her father at the Battle of Ain in 667. Sites and finds. Dun-Eocha was the great capital of the Uí Fidgenti, described by Geoffrey Keating as having been one of the two great seats of the Dáirine and the legendary Cuar Magdair. The earthworks remain and the fortress can be found next to the modern town of Brewery, on the River Maig. The name means fortress on the brink of the Maig, and the name of the town is anglicised from Brúrio, meaning Palace of Kings. Another common name for the site, but probably fanciful, is Lissolim, thought to be from the name of Aelul Orlam, a legendary king of the Diogtine who was sometimes seated there in literature. To the south of Brúrio can be found Croc Samna, also known as Ardnariocrate, associated with Mongfind. This may have been the Uí Fidgenti inauguration site. The Ardar chalice was discovered in Uí Fidgenti territory at Rastraroth in 1868. Eóganachta relationship. The Uí Fidgenti are credited with having a unique relationship with the Eóganachta kings at Cashel. 5 generations before Fiocha, Oiliol Olim is credited with dividing Munster into 2 parts and between 2 of his sons, and enjoined that the descendants should succeed to the governance of the province in alternate succession. This injunction was complied with, until the time of Brian Boru, who is credited with slaying Donovan of the Uí Fidgeinti in 977. The Uí Fidgeinti were not subject to the Eóganachta kings at Cashel, and did not pay tribute. The Book of Rights noted that the stipends of the king of Cashel to the kings of his territory included, to the king of Uí Chonal, 10 steeds, shields, horns, and, to the king of Brewery, 7 steeds, horns, swords and 7 serving youths and 7 bondmen. It also noted that the word of the king of Uí Chonal to the kings of Cashel was sufficient, and no hostages need be exchanged as consideration for an agreement. A passage in the expulsion of the D'Eoganachta names the Uí Fidgenti, including the Uí Lythane, among the 3 Eóganachta of Munster, the others being the Eóganachta Eoganachta and the Eóganachta Rathline. All 3 were of sufficient military and political standing to exchange hostages with the kings at Cashel, instead of them being required as would be demanded from a subjugated opponent. Disintegration. The disintegration of the Uí Fidgenti commenced in 1178, when Domhnall Mór O'Brien caused the Uí Chonal and Uí Chepri to flee as far as Eoganachta Eoganachta and others into County Kerry. The O'Collins, the most powerful sept, would follow many of the O'Donovans some decades later, but 1 or 2 smaller septs within the Uí Fidgente, notably the Massoneries, would remain in County Limerick for several centuries more as lords under the new Earls of Desmond. Important families which did not survive intact from the war waged by the O'Briens, and the subsequent incursion of the Fitzgeralds, were Keneally, Flannery, Tracy, Clarkin, and Ring. These septs scattered all over Munster. The recurring conflict with the O'Briens had its most infamous event more than 2 centuries before, when Donalban mac Cathail, progenitor of the O'Donovans, formed an anti-Dalcassian alliance with 2 other leaders, his father-in-law Ivar of Limerick, the Danish king of Limerick, and Maelmud mac Brain, king of Munster. The result of this was the death of the elder brother of Brian Borma, Man, Mathgamain mac Senetig, for his frequent attacks on Uí Fidgenti. His death resulted in Brian Borma's subsequent revenge by defeating all three members of the alliance. In the 10th century, the territory of the Uí Fidgenti bordered those of Man and of Brian Boru, and territorial conflicts were not uncommon. The Danish connection of the Uí Fidgenti was also a considerable factor in the decrease of the power. The Uí Fidgenti had allied with the Uí 5 generations before Donovan was slain in 977, and the O'Donovans continued to carry Danish-dominated names well past the death of Amlebue Donovan in 1201. Having allied with the losing side of the Danish-Irish conflicts in the late 10th century, the O'Donovans of Uí saw their influence wane during the next 2 centuries while they tried to stem the tide against more powerful forces. The core of the Uí under the O'Collins remained a powerful force in Munster for some period of time. The Annals of Innisfallen note that in 1177 there was an expedition by Domnall Ué Don Charda and Culen Ué Culean against Macha, and they took away many cows. Peace was afterwards made by the son of Machartheg and by the Uí Brean. This suggests the Uí commanded one of the largest forces in Munster at this time, and that it was not until after sustained attacks for the Fitzgeralds that they were forced to retire to Cork in the mid-13th century. The same Culean Ué Culean and many of the nobles of Uí were slain in a battle with Domnall Machartheg in 1189, an unfortunate event which contributed to the weak resistance against the invading Cambro-Normans. Shortly thereafter, in 1201, Domnall Machartheg brought a hosting into Uí where he was slain. 1 year later, the last king of Uí mentioned in the annals, Amlebue Donovan, was slain by William de Burgh and the sons of Domnall Ué Brean in the year 1201. It is clear that the chiefs and territories of what were formerly the Uí Fidgenti were under pressure after 1178, indicating they were still in the historical territory after the 1169 invasion of foreigners, and were caught in the crossfire between the MacArthurigs, the O'Briens and the English foreigners. By the end of the 12th century, the Uí Fidgenti territory was under extreme pressure from all sides, as the MacArthurigs, O'Briens and the English foreigners looked to the south and west to expand against the remnants of the Uí Fidgenti, the Uí and the Uí who were without formidable allies. County Clare. Because of the later dominance of County Clare by the Dalgecais, the Uí Fidgenti septs have proven difficult to trace and identify. A powerful branch of the Uí known as the Uí Chormaic preserved their identity, from whom descend the O'Hears, but it is believed that other families were later wrongly classified as Dalcassian. Notable possibilities of the O'Days and O'Quins of Uí Fidgenti and the McNamaras of Clan Culian. Cork-Loigd. Evidence may or may not exist for long-term exchange between the Uí Fidgenti and Cork-Loigd. This appears to be a relic of the pre-Eóganachta political configuration of Munster, and may support the theory of Uí Fidgenti origins among the Dáirine as cousins of the Cork-Loigd. There are a number of historical septs who may have their origins with one or the other, evident in collections of pedigrees as early as those found in Rawlinson 502, dating from 550 to 1130. and as late as those collected by John O'Hart in the 19th century. An early O'Leary family are given an Uí Fidgenti pedigree, but the Munster sept as a whole are generally regarded to belong to the Cork Limerick. It is worth noting that Michael Collins was descended from the O'Coilians of Uí-Chonalgabra. Both the Uí-Chonal and the Uí-Donvans were tribes within the Uí Fidgente. Contents: AI 635.1 The Battle of County between the Uí Fidgenti and the A.D. AI 649.2 Death of Crunmail, son of A.D., king of Uí Fidgenti. AI 683.1 kiloliters. Death of Donanach, king of Uí Fidgenti, and the mortality of the children. AI 732.1 kiloliters. Death of Dubindrecht, son of Erc, king of Uí Fidgenti. AI 751.1 kiloliters. Death of Dáirine, son of A.D.to, king of Uí Fidgenti. AI 762.2 Death of Flan, son of Erc, king of Uí Fidgenti. AI 766.2 A defeat by the Uí Fidgenti and by the A.D. Cleachon Mael Doan, son of A.D., in Brega, i.e. en Bothbreg. AI 774.4 Death of Senfeilad, king of Uí Fidgenti, and of Rectabra, king of Cork Bashkan. AI 786.2 Death of Scandlan, son of Flan, son of Erc, king of Uí Fidgenti. AI 834.8 Dunadach, son of Scanlan, king of Uí Fidgenti, won a battle against the heathens, in which many fell. AI 835.9 Death of Dunadach, son of Scanlan, king of Uí Fidgenti. AI 846.5 Niall, son of Senfeilad, king of Uí Fidgenti, dies. AI 860.2 A.D. son of Dáirine, king of Uí Fidgenti, dies. AI 846.5 Niall, son of Senfeilad, king of Uí Fidgenti, dies. AI 906.4 Charmach, king of Uí Fidgenti, dies. AI 962.4 Death of Scandlan, grandson of Ryacan, king of Uí Fidgenti. AI 972.3 The capture of Mathgamain, son of Senetig, king of Kysel. He was treacherously seized by Donoban and handed over to the son of Bran in violation of the guarantee and despite the interdiction of the elders of Mumu, and he was put to death by Bran's son. AI 974.0 Death of Donoban Macathail, Tyne Uí Fidgenti. AI 977.3 A raid by Brian, son of Senetig, on Uí Fidgenti, and he made a slaughter of foreigners therein. AI 982.4 Euronide, son of Donoban, king of Uí Chepri, died. AI 989.4 Congal, son of Anrudan, king of Cork Duibna, dies. AI 1177.3 Great warfare this year between Tuid Mumu and Dismumu, and from Luimnech to Corkachan, from Clodwa Moor to Crockbrainer, and was laid waste, both church and lay property, and the Uí Macha and the Uí Lythane came into the west of Ireland, and the Eóganachta Locha Elia Cutayan came as far as Fadruim in Uí Echach, the Chariga Eluashra into Tudmumu, and the Uí Chonal and Uí Chepri as far as Eóganachta Locha Elia Cutayan. MCB 1177.2 A great war broke out between Domnall Mór O'Brien and Diarmaid Mór Mac Cartai, and they laid waste from Limerick to Cork, and from Clodwa Mhoir and Waterford to Crockbrain, and both church and lay property. The Uí Mackay fled southwards across the Lee into Uí Chach. The Eóganachta Elia Qtien fled to Fayardruim in Uí Chach. The Chare Luara into Thomond. The Uí Chebra, the Uí Chonal, and the Uí Donabhain into Eóganachta Elia Qtien, and to the country around Mangata. Pedigree. Based primarily on Rawlinson B. 502, Der Serber, Main Munchain, Fidig Uí Lythane Uí Fidgenti Uí Dede Uí Duakajatwa, Crimthan Mac Fideg Mongfind equals Eochade Mugmeaden equals Karen, Connachta Uí Ne acute hillsides of interest. The territory of Thomond discusses the extent of the kingdom of Uí Fidgenti. Tuid Mumu has maps and convenient Uí Fidgenti related genealogies, tribes and AMP territories of Mumhin. Traces of the Eóganachta features a very detailed genealogy of the Uí Fidgenti, compiled and translated from numerous primary and secondary sources. South Irish R1b.